Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Hello and welcome, or welcome back if you joined us earlier on for the Formula Fords. But now it's time for the SRFs from the Weekend Warriors to take to the track here at Rudskogen Motor Centre in Norway. I'm Tim Carps. We've got Josh Wilkie in the virtual production trailer, now joined by Charles Bashal. But before I start picking his brains, let's take a little look at what happened last season and the championship standings of how everything played out. I can tell you, in Spec 1, it was that man, Marco Pinero. Dominant again, another championship to his name. I'm finishing, well, 155 points clear of Jason Green. And he himself was some 140 points nearly ahead of Evandro Dantas. That's the sort of display that Pinero put on last season. Kay Lasky 4th, Overstreet 5th, which was, you know, not bad considering she ran out winner in the Formula Fords. We had Vivini, Andalo, Gardini, Bradford Gould, and Daniel Wood, the Mexican, to round out your top 10. Go for race winner Dudu Castro, not quite make it into the top 10. Alan McCain, he was your champion in Spec 2, and in doing so as well, and a bit of an increase in IR as well for him. He's been promoted up into Spec 1. Phil Berry, well, in the end, 70 points behind McCain in second. Gibson third, make it 3 different nationalities in the top 3. It was like Ken Batley fourth, Josh Justice, Jeff Wilker, Paul Jackson, Baglini, Montgomery, and Vogelay, who rounded out the top 10 there. Into Masters category. Wow, this one was tight right to the very end, but it was Tom Gradwell who ran out winner by just 8 points across a 12-round season ahead of Yogmani. Jim Brewster made it 2 top 3s in the Formula Fords and, of course, the SRFs. Great result for him. He absolutely loved every second of it. Kurt Nunes 4th, Mitchell Cathcart, Race Longin, Bradshaw, Murakami running out your top 10 there. Some big name and some tight points difference. And, well, I'm sure it's going to be no different whatsoever this season. And actually, while we're on that, bit of a mention. Congratulations to Tom Laurie, Richard Coffey, and Jeff Fritcher, who've all been promoted up into Masters for this season and going forward, as they've all come of age And that's just going to make that championship all the more competitive if it's anything to go by last season. Now, across the tonight, we are Rudskogen, like we were earlier on for the Formula Fords. Thank you very much for joining us if you did. If you didn't, where were you? Scintillating race. Jason Green ran out winner. Well, can he make it from two? We're going to see Yang Lin carry on from his, well, dominance in the runoffs only 1 week ago here on Apex Racing TV, where he won both races and arguably had a bit of a canter as well. Currently 5th in qualifying as we come towards the end of that. Charles, I mean, yeah, this circuit, I mean, had massive change back in 2012 thanks to extensive government funding and become the premier circuit and the National Motor Centre in Norway for racing. And these cars are a little bit slow compared to their Formula 4s we saw earlier on, but I get the feeling it's going to be even more wheel-to-wheel action here.
Yeah, Tim, great to be back with the SRFs this season. Dominant Marco Panero, the last season I did a couple seasons ago, he was just dominant. And looks like the more things change, the more things stay the same. Obviously, he's had a good one. But yeah, this track, as we saw with the Formula 4s earlier, I have noticed a few differences between how these cars react versus the other ones. But this is a fantastic track. We saw a really great race earlier today with the Formula 4s. These cars, as I was watching practice, I just kind of picked out a couple of drivers. I picked out Alice Pleva and Megan Overstreet. Megan because she had ran the Formula 4s, and Pleva because he didn't. And so I just wanted to see the kind of the differences in how they're attacking this course. And it looks like with the Formula 4s, they really, from what I remember, tried to stay off the curbs. You'd get the exit curb out of the corner to try and just extend that to get the best run possible. But these cars really have been really attacking the apex curbs on the inside, cutting as much of that corner as they possibly can. And looks like the car's really stable. I saw one spin in turn 3. Which we saw several during practice in the race earlier. So looking forward to this. It's going to be, I think, a really fantastic race.
I think it is. And I mean, I'm intrigued. Cold tyres, how it's going to affect things. We saw in the Formula 4s earlier on, of course, the engines in these cars, in the SRS, sit further back, pretty much over the rear axle. Now, that was going to give the rear more traction compared to what we saw in the Formula 4s. However, it's going to act also like a bit of a pendulum, and with these off-camber corners and elevation change around here, I'm not too sure how it's going to play out. Of course, we spoke about earlier that change in the off-track physics as well. Yeah, it's a little bit of a trip to the unknown here for me, anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting with when I was watching practice. I was expecting turn 3 to be hazardous. Just because of the fact that it's a rear-engine car, and these cars are kind of like the Porsche GT3 cars. They're kind of prone to lift-off oversteer, and if you just get on the binders too hard, the rear end just wants to come around on that car. But I didn't see that a lot with these. So the cars look like they're pretty well balanced for the track, and like I said, it was some really good practice, and so I'm looking forward to a good race.
I am as well, but I've got to check a flag out in qualifying. At the moment, it's looking like a front row of Panero and Castro. Well, those two, we saw them come to blows last season. It's going to be more of the same again here. Or is it going to be a different scenario? Under attempt separating them. Flavio Dolo just popping up into 10th there, the fifth row of the grid, displacing Jeff Fritcher. He's moved down to R11 from row 6. Panera in the pit, so is Yang Lin, so is Antonio Race. They're locked in with their times. I mean, it's tight as you like, as always. Up at the sharp end of the field, well, pretty much across the whole field in its entirety. With some, 3.4 seconds covering, 4.4 seconds covering 35 cars.
Yeah, it's what we normally see, right? We normally see just a big pack, and it's just compounded by the fact these cars draft so well. So they'll just get nose to tail, and it's just like I said, it's fun to watch. But the top 5 0.3 of a second. I do remember when Panero started his big run, where he was a half second a lap faster than everybody else on track. So it does look like the field's caught up to him a bit.
It does indeed. Does indeed. And that, well, for us as commentators and anyone watching at home who's a bit of a neutral, that's only a good thing. Is it for Marco Pinero? Well, we'll find out very, very shortly as everyone takes to the grid for the first round of the season here in the SRF Weekend Warriors. Well, it's Marco Pinero clinching that first pole position of the season. Duda Castro joins him on the front row. Row 2, it's an all-masters row. It's Yukmani and Antonio Race. Jason Green, he's got Yashi Lin for company on row 3, with Dantas and Renders making up row 4. Row 5 of the top 10 is Andrea Favini, and what's going to be, well, arguably his home circuit this season, even though he's in Sweden. This is Norway. Flavio Darlo starts next to him. Row 6 is Jeff Fritcher, displaced by Landalo in the closing stages of qualifying down to row 6, with he joins Phil Berry there. Row 7 is Celeste Plaver and Chris Murakami. Todd Hansen, he's got Masters reigning champion Tom Gradwell for company on row 8. Row 9 is Megan Overstreet, bit down probably by a bit off pace by her own high standards. She starts next to Daniel Wood. Simon Mayer and Jim Brewster are going to round out your top 20 in row 10. Row 11 sees Jeff Jacobson next to Paul Jackson, and then directly behind them is another American and British row in the form of Kurt Nunes and Steve Elson. Row 13 are looking for some. Let's hope it's not for Brad Cathcart and Ian Gibson. Then it's your Spec 2 champion who's been promoted up to Spec 1, Alan McCain, starting next to Stephen Mitchell. Row 15, that's Andrew Love and Bradford Gould. Charlie Vicarco starts next to Josh Justice in row 16. Row 17, that's Jenny Longin and Gary Walbolt. Michelle Varglini starting behind his fellow countryman there. And he's got Michael Nelson for company. And that is, well, that's everyone. That is everyone. Nelson did not set a time in qualifying. He's yet to take to the grid. And here come the lights. So I'm guessing he is not going to start. So Varglini starting dead last all by themselves on 35th. But as they say, the only way is up. Wow.
Indeed.
Wow, Charles. It's I'm looking forward to this one. It's it could get a little bit Larry. I say could. I think it's going to, isn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah, it's just how many cars wide are we going to be in the corner in turn 1? It's usually 3, maybe 4. I don't know if this track can support 4 wide, but if it can, these drivers will do it.
You say that, Charles. Last week at the runoffs, we had 3 wide going through Howell Corner turn 1 at Bathurst.
Oh, wow.
And not just one set of them either. There are about 2 or 3 sets of 3 wide through turn 1. And needless to say, we had 3 wides going up the hill and actually coming back down it again too. So that's a narrower track. This is wider. Yeah, not as much as a lengthy run. Of course, these cars do love to slipstream. So yeah, I think it's going to be fascinating how it plays out. Of course, we have visited previously here in the SRF Weekend Warriors, but well, you never quite know with this lot, do you?
Yeah, you really don't. It's somebody's going to try and make a move and make it stick, and sometimes it pays off, and sometimes it doesn't. But as you know, we're sitting up here watching, and we enjoy it. And so we just hope that everybody has a good race and finishes strong, and just may the best driver win, right?
Definitely. Just a bit of a weather check for you. 26 degrees Celsius track temperature, 22 Celsius ambient. That relates to 71 ambient in Fahrenheit, or freedoms, as you like to call it over there in the States, and 78 out on track. So definitely on the cooler side, but of course we are in Norway, high up in the northern hemispheres. It's going to be a solid high up victory for Pinero to make it 3 championships in the bounce, I believe. Or is someone else going to take it to him? Let's find out, folks, because the pace car is in. And let's get ready to go racing for the first time this season, as we are green and we are racing. And Charles, you said, are we going to see a free one? We've already got it there down in the midfield. Green, Lynn, and Dantas, I think that is, just making it all happen there. Sorry, it's Fritcher even, but they've all made it through somehow, some way. They all sort themselves out, but they're still too wide as we head out of turn 2 for the first time this evening and drop down the hill. Panera leads from Castro, Marnie, Race, Green, Lynn, Dantas has just got past Renders, although they're training places. So we run down into 3, the swooping right-hander, just trying to hold it together on these cold tyres. They're going to take a little bit of time with these cold track temperatures to come up to heat, aren't they, Charles?
Yeah, and for sure. I think we had Overstreet all the way to the back. So
yeah, something's happened to her.
Yeah, I'm wondering if she just got forced wide, which happens, or, cold tires first lap. It's very, very easy to just, as we saw with the Formula 4s with Jorg Monty, very easy to loop the car.
Incredibly easy, that is for Serge. She's making progress though. On board right now with Jorg Marnie. He's dropped places, so clearly one of the drivers caught up. Dantas just having a bit of a moment, and so did Renders in front of us. Everyone holding it together though. Just behind us is Favini getting past Fritsch, although they're trading places again. Once more, they're squeezing, they're leaning on each other coming out of the final turn. Wow, what's going to happen down in turn 1? Look at it, all nose to tail. One long train here. Right now, Fritsch being pushed by Favini, who's already got damage. A few scuffs to his front end as well. God bless Netco, sorts itself out, but a bit of contact there. Plaver, door banging aplenty. It's like a pinball there. Where's Favini?
Wow, yeah, lots and lots of side-by-side there. Everybody just trying to find room, and there's no room to be found. So you end up kind of banging against the car next to you, but everybody's still headed the right direction. So we'll just keep racing.
That's everyone up.
Car off. Meyer.
That's Simon May. Yeah, he is off. Oh, that's Overstreet.
That was Overstreet.
Coming flying in, careering in, backwards. Well, it goes from bad to worse for the young American. She descends down to 34th.
I'm going to go back to something because we interviewed her after the Formula Ford race, and she was having shifter issues.
Well, I hear we've got a replay coming in, Charles. Let's find out. So, this is the one at the start, isn't it? By how close together they are. Pushing a bit too hard.
Yep. Just too much. Just carried a little too much speed in there. Couldn't hold it around the corner as we see a car spinning behind her as well.
I think that was Michelle Verglini who was having that issue. Yes, it would have been, yes. Well done, the Italian. And the second one is incoming now. Here we go.
This one, I think, was just crash avoidance. I think she was just going wide, and she saw the car and just whipped it around to keep from crashing in to Meyer.
Well, damage avoidance in some ways, however, it's not. Well, it's definitely damaged her position and chances of finishing well inside the top 10 tonight. However, while this has all been going on, these two, different gravy, Charles. I mean, look at that. 3 seconds clear of Jason Green, who's best of the rest in third.
Yeah, I think maybe Green and Lynn were having a little side-by-side battle that's giving those giving Panero and Castro a chance to kind of escape a couple of seconds, 3 seconds ahead.
Even so, though, Charles, 3 seconds. I mean, yes, they'll lose a bit of time, but I mean, surely not quite that much.
Well, we've seen it, and like I said, it just depends on where you're battling on the track. Obviously, you get into some of the slower sections, and you really have to check up to keep from hitting a car that's side by side with you. Trying to race clean, and gives those guys a chance to just get away. We'll see if the pack can make up the time, and that's going to be the thing. Is they line up, they've got a chance to make up the time on the cars in front, and so that's what we'll be watching out for.
Thomas Renders in
purple sector or purple lap. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Thomas Renders into the pits very early on. Simon Mayer, another driver who's already been in, so that's got to be... Well, there's no obvious damage to his car. So that's incredibly early on, and, well, based on the time, a couple of minutes short of being able to go the whole race distance, but unless he's left his qualifying fuel in.
That is absolutely a possibility. It's not. It wouldn't be the first time that a driver has done that. So we've seen that several times.
And it won't be the last either.
And it won't be the last for sure.
So, Lin's past green there. There we go. Well, our producer Josh is saying in our ear, and as we see in live pictures, he is through. But they've lost even more time to Pinheiro and Castro. 3.7 seconds is now the gap. Clearly, Green just struggling for a bit of race pace in these opening stages. Because look, he's caught right up to the back of Antonio Race.
He has indeed. Yeah, kind of, you know, as we talked about earlier in the previous broadcast, you know, Green is really good at fuel management. So it may be, he may already be in fuel save mode. And he says, I'm going to ride behind Lynn, and I'm going to save what I can save, and then we'll see if I can short pit, which worked out for him in the previous race because he won. So, but Pinheiro and Castro are just setting a torrid pace. I mean, they're 0.3 of a second faster every lap, and they're just stretching the gap out.
Looking at short stopping and going early. Dan Wood into the pits too. Thomas Renders is still in pit road, so that says to me that's damage and more terminal for him. There's Dan Wood, who's... Well, this could work. If you're stuck... We know what it's like for overtaking around here. It is a challenge.
It is indeed.
Maybe Wood just looking to get himself into fresh air early on and just grind out decent laps, not stuck up behind people, tripping up over one another, losing time. So, he's down 15 places into 33rd. Keep an eye out for the Mexican and what he can do.
Yeah, it's, you know...
Whoa, hold on, Charles. Look who's ahead.
That's Castro. Castro taking the lead.
Wow. Snuck that one through, didn't you, Dino Castro? Nicely done. We'll dig that one... Our producer Josh's going to dig that one out of the system so we can see exactly how that happened. Here we go. He's come from a long way back. Is it a slight mistake? Yeah, it is. Ever so slightly there from Pinheiro.
Yeah.
Just slowed him up. And then I think he's just let him pass to make it easy.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it looked like Pinheiro just got a little deep in the corner, went wide, left the door open for Castro to come through. And it's good to see Castro up front because I know as you said, I think he won a race last season, but it just seems like he's snake bit sometimes. He ends up getting caught in the worst situation, and it just ends up biting him. So it'd be good to see him get a good start to his season.
Definitely. But the one that lives in memory for most is Interlagos for me. You know, could have potentially won it, but that come together in the last stages with Pinheiro due to netcode cost the Brazilian victory at his home race. He was gutted about it. He was in the chat saying, hey, it's one of those things, guys. Nothing. It wasn't Marco's fault, which was completely fair, you know, on him. But I said about, you know, could Lin make a bit of a dent into those top two? He's already taken a good 4 or 5 attempts out of them.
Yeah, he is making up progress. It's he is trying to get up there. Lap times are he said he's got a good pace going. So kind of makes you wonder if maybe now that Castro's in the lead, maybe there's a little fuel saving going up front. It wouldn't surprise me, but so we'll see how that all turns out.
Marnie just allowing Dantas past there. Marnie's still second in Masters. Antonio Race leads that category. Jeff Richer, they've been promoted up into Masters. He lies in third. That'd be a good Masters debut for the American. On board with Pinheiro, though. Up front, just keep up to date with Spec 2. Phil Berry leads that one. He's 11th. Castro just did a bit deep on Pinheiro. I had to check up there. And in doing so, that's cost them about 3.5 seconds. I'm just watching now, Charles. 2.5 seconds. That is all the difference between Lin and these top two. And he's bringing Green and Race with him for the ride.
Yeah, and I think it was what we were talked about earlier is, once you're side by side, and even that was, put the Castro pass was fairly easy, right? It wasn't like they were battling. He just, Panero made a mistake and Castro was able to get by him. But even that side by side action has allowed the cars behind him make up a little bit of ground.
Closing in, that is for sure. Oh, so he's there to Phil Berry. He's dropping down the order like a stone. He's dropped about 5 or 6 places. He's doing so. He's lost the lead of Spec 2. Todd Hansen now has that. He's down to 16th. Ian Gibson is 3rd in Spec 2, but he's still all the way down in 19th. So looking okay at the moment for him to hold on to that one. But seeing race on the back of Green and Lynn, and taking another attempt out of those top 2. They are coming for them. Let's see what happened to Phil Berry, Charles.
Pretty straightforward so far. Just interesting. Yeah, he just got wide, just missed his braking point a little bit, and it carried him too deep in the corner. And there were 5 cars behind him waiting to capitalize.
It was almost like he was looking for the cutback to, dip back in, and everyone said, "Oh, that's a great big cut there. Thanks, Phil Berry. We'll level that place off you." And he just couldn't get back on the racing line, and everyone just kept saying, "Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Phil." As they all passed and saw that great big gap there, and he says nothing he could do on the outside there whatsoever. As we're seeing right now, this gaggle starts at Dantas, ends at Fritcher, currently occupying 6th through 10th.
Yeah, and it's just it's a mid-race battle. They're basically just kind of lined up. I'm sorry, I was kind of watching the front group as looks like that group that's 3, 4, and 5. Lynn, Green, Reyes is about a half-second a lap faster than the front 2. So that's still tightening up as we're watching this battle here with Pleva, Favini, Fritcher.
A big gap already to that group behind them. It kicks off with Hansen, Andalo, Murakami, Gradwell, Jacobson, Berry. That's some big names in that little following train, but everyone just seems to have just calmed down at this stage, just settled down as at the 12.5-minute mark.
Yeah, indeed. It's kind of that mid-race lull. Everybody's kind of prepping for their pit stops, trying to figure out what strategy they're going to do. If they're going to maybe think about the undercut. If they're going to keep going forward and trying to run it dry. So there'll be differing strategies in all these groups.
Yes, and I'm intrigued by this top 2, talking of groups, of what they're going to do. Panero just having a little bit of a look there, just trying to make Castro just driving his mirrors. But this is where it gets tricky, because it's going to slow them up, and it is. Another 2, 3 attempts, maybe more, taken out by Lynn. Just like you see as it ebbs and flows, just watching the gap back from the leader. It ebbs and flows constantly. But there we go, the change for the lead.
Yeah. I think at this point in the race, I think Panero is just a bit faster than Castro, and says, you know what, I think I'm going to get back out front and see if we can stretch this gap out. I did notice that they've dropped Race. He's about 2 seconds behind Green now, so he's kind of fallen off that second group.
I think, Charles, he had a bit of an issue somewhere around the lap, because he was a lap slower, and then next lap he was actually about 1.2 seconds, in fact. The last time around he was a further 7/10 slower, so I think that's why he's fallen by the wayside. Well, that's no, think about it. That is why he's fallen down by the wayside. So I guess on the first of those 2 laps, maybe a slight mistake. Gibson's just passed Elson off camera for 18th place. In terms of your highest position climber, no major ones. I say major by Weekend Warrior standards. Let's use that as the caveat. Ian Gibson only 8 places gained into 18th.
Yeah. Normally, we've got the we've got 10, 12, at this point in the race because it's such a big grid. 35 cars started the race. So there's you get that hard charger reward for the most positions gained during the race. And so far, yeah, eight positions is still pretty good though. Ian Gibson's having a good run. He's up to 18th. So he's having a really good race. Is that third in class?
Correct, it is right? Indeed. Yeah, third in Spec 2 right now for him. Only Phil Berry, who's some 4 seconds up the road from him, second in Spec 2 after his after he just got mugged. Let's face it, in that group that starts. Well, he ends now, but he was just behind Todd Hansen, who's in 11th. So we look back from Gibson. That's Steve Helson behind us. The two Brits working together there in 18th and 19th respectively for those two. Just keep half an eye. I'm still keeping an eye on him for us, Charles. Dan Wood in 31st. Taking some solid lap times as well. Going quicker than pretty much everyone else in front of him. So maybe that strat could work out for him.
It sounds like he's making the most of it. So I was as we're sitting here waiting for the pit stop cycle to start, I just get a quick, because I remember I was watching Philip Berry in practice. This track, and I just picked, I don't know where he lives in Australia, but I know he's Australian, so I just picked Sydney as a town. It's 10,000 miles away from the track, so it's literally on the other side of the planet from Philip.
So him and his fellow countrymen in Australia, like Brad Cathcart,
yep.
They all get up on a Monday morning before work to come and race in the Weekend Warriors.
That's dedication.
It's Monday morning for them.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I mean, it's awesome, and the Aussies get picked on a bit because you've got the net code, the ping, and all that, and but there's some really good racers down there. So it's good to see those guys up here. Just willing to get up on Monday morning and come in and just do a little 1 hour race before you get ready to go into work.
Tom Gradwell was the other one who I missed out. I knew I was missing someone. I should have remembered him well as he's our reigning Masters champion. So Marnie has passed Dantas there off camera. And we've got a replay, and I get the feeling we're going to find out exactly how he managed to do it here, Charles.
Yeah, but as we're coming down here into the corner, just got a good run, takes the inside line. It's like Dantas got a little wide. It was a pretty straightforward pass.
I do wonder whether
turn 3.
Dantas maybe just, seeing Marnie on the inside there, just opened up the steering a bit to, try to either look for a bit of a cut back or just, ease it in, facilitate the move, knowing that, do you know what, if I drop out of this fight, then I'm going to be in a little bit of trouble. It's very easy to leave places. Bit of damage limitation. I think that's probably the easiest phrase that I'm looking for.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It kind of skip the battle to win the war. So you've got a big group of cars there battling, and you put too much pressure on them, and then you've got just a slew of cars behind who are ready to take advantage and pass both of you. So yeah, better just to let that one go, and we'll settle back in and see if we can get the spot back.
Most certainly. Just keep half an eye on that gap up front. Panero and Castro just starting to work together again, just opening up the gap by another couple of attempts over Lynn, but it's relatively stable. 2.5 seconds. That one could come down to our pit stops to sort that one out.
Yeah, I think
sure.
Yeah, I think what we realize is Castro's got good pace, but I think he's a little better in second than he is in first. So Panero can get back out front, lead the train, keep that gap at least stable or growing. And then this gives Castro obviously the opportunity to maybe save some fuel, maybe make up the time during the pit stop, and gives him a chance to win. But obviously, if you let those guys get back up to you, that makes it that much tougher.
Definitely, and well, the Brazilian, he comes from good stock. Of course, races for Texaco by TK, being of course Tony Kanaan, and obviously teammates as well with Gustavo Ariel, who drives in ESLR1 on another game that we probably shouldn't mention, in the hands of iRacing, and well, I mean, definitely comes from a good start.
Absolutely, yeah, and we've seen Gustavo in here doing a few races here and there. Obviously, you know, right at 11K or thereabouts. So obviously a fantastic racer. So Castro, like I said, he's always had the pace to run up front. He just, like I said, gets snake bit quite a bit, and just bad racing luck. So, you know, he's in a position now that he can capitalize, maybe get a race win.
I have been working in the background, Charles. You know, mentioned about Gustavo Ariel, just baiting Jamie Fluke of Apex Racing Team, who many moons ago used to take part in this series, loves this car. To have the pair of them, try and get the pair of them to rock it together, and I think that could be a battle for the ages. Two full-time pros. Yeah, top of their game here in the Weekend Warriors, just even for one round, just to watch it be fascinatingly unfold. But I'm still working on it, needs to say, because they haven't shown up yet. Yeah,
that'd be great. I'd love to see Jamie out there in one of these cars.
You like to say weird cars in inverted commas, like the Lotus 49 as well. It likes that too. So Jamie, bit of a unique one, bless him. Anyway. More pricing matters. There's Phil Berry, currently second in Spec 2, and he's dropped a couple more places as well. So Jim Brewster is past him, and it's just broken up this group a little bit. It's just they seem to have all spaced out. You know, whereas we had Fritcher leading it, and we had Todd Hansen leading. Apologies. Then Darlo, Murakami, Jason, Gradwell, Brewster, Berry all together in one gale. All now spaced out, as that is your money. Ooh. He's loving turn 3, isn't he?
Yeah,
getting
he really
a move
is.
done.
Yeah, he really is. It's completely the opposite of what happened in the first race. I was like, yeah, he's got turn 3 nailed and made another pass. He's ahead of Pleva now. He's up to P6 overall. He's still second in class. And he's got a 6.5 second gap to race, but race seems to be still fading. That gap up to green now is 4 seconds. So he's obviously struggling a little bit for pace. So it's going to be interesting if Monty can make up any more time to make that a challenge. Did I see a car off the track there in that corner?
That might be Mashav Vaglini, who I can see from our event logger has had an incident. So I will imagine. Oh, Lid's into the pits here on 22 minutes 45 seconds. That's early.
Yeah, that's early. So obviously he's thinking the undercut's going to do something. So let's see if that pays off.
Will it? Will it though?
I don't know. I mean, these cars draft really well, but it's how much time can you make it? We talked about it. How much time can you make up in the draft versus how hard is it to make a pass? So you get some people who are willing to kind of just not fight you and let you go. Maybe you make up the time. If you've got people saying, no, you shouldn't have pitted, you're going to stay behind me until I'm ready to let you by, then you may struggle. So we're going to be interested because he's coming out in a big pack of cars.
And that was my worry, Charles, with pitting so early. We know how tight it is here in the Weekend Warriors, especially at a track like this where it's hard to overtake. If he's coming out into a pocket of space, I can fully understand it. Overstreet, oddly, after we saw her fall right to the back of the pack, she's up to 21st. So maybe, Charles, your hypothesis actually, is going to work out here based on the progress that she's made. There she is, just up the track from Lynn. So maybe I'll need to get my knife out and take a big old fat slice of humble pie.
It's still early. We're still over halfway. So there's still lots of things that happen, but she's doing really well. She's made up quite a few spots. She's only down 4 from her starting position. So she basically came from the back of the grid, and so she's really, really driving well.
Just in front of her there is Alan McCain, reigning Spec 2 champion, of course, promoted up to Spec 1 this season. There he is. He's into the pits.
No good deed goes unpunished, right?
Oh, yes. Yes, you get better, you gain in iRacing, and then you find yourself up a championship.
Right. So yeah, he's in the pits now. So it's going to be interesting to see how much progress Lynn can make up this field, because now he's sitting there watching the leaders still working their way around. Castro just 4/10 back. It'll be interesting to see how well he makes up time. He's behind Nunez right now. So, excuse me.
It's all right. I'll save you while you're having your slight coffee for that. Pinheiro and Castro lapped last time around a 30.9 and a 31 dead. So, Lynn needs to go equal to, if not a bit faster than that. Not sure whether he's going to be able to with that traffic, but then he is going to have a little bit of draft in certain parts of the circuit, but then will he get held up in the more technical parts? But then we've seen Overstreet make good progress. I fall to the back of the field. Hasn't seemed to work out for Dan Wood right now, but I think he has made a bit of time actually on Gary Walbot, who's in 28th. So, yeah, maybe it is working out for Wood. So keep half an eye on that one too. There's your Gramani leading the charge for the Palason, best of the rest. Dantas Plaver, who's dropped a couple of places, haven't been in 5th. Was up 8 spots, is now only up to 6. Cheshire Driver. And 7th and Favini and Fritcher at the tail in that group. Who we got in here? That's Paul Jackson and Kurt Nunez popping into the pits. Let's see what they're going to come out as. Gary Walbot in 2. That's going to release Wood to crack on and pursue. Actually, it's going to give him a big old chunk of fresh air. 13 seconds worth to Andrew Love, in fact.
Yeah, that was a big help to Lynn, because Lynn had gotten by Nunez, but then was behind Jackson. So they were in a group together. So those two guys pitting now actually kind of releases Lynn a bit. So he gets a little more fresh air and he can make a little more time up, and he's behind Overstreet by 1.5 seconds.
There's a Justice popping on through into 28th now. Last Walbot on Nunez after they've pitted. So Justice has pitted. That was on lap 5. Would have pitted on lap 4, so he's super good to make that home to the end. So see Shannon Long, another driver who has pitted so far. Got that little gaggle there. Oh, Fritsch and hello.
No. Oh, they. This is not good.
No, it's not. Fritchard jumps to the pits. The tow will be minimal. Phil Berry came careering in and was met by a roadblock. They have got one fast repair to their name, so that's not the end of the world.
I'm going to ask Josh to pull that one. I'd like to see that replay and see how that all unfolded. That's very strange.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
The only thing I can think of is somebody spun it coming into the pits, because those guys came in together. Wow. They were within a second.
It will be. So we've got Evandro Dantas entered pit lane in the event viewers. So it's going to be somewhere around there, I would imagine. We'll see if Josh will work in the background, see if he can pull that one up.
Like I said,
Dantas was ahead of Justice. So based on your hypothesis, that's later, isn't it?
Late, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, there's Dantas passing Jeff Fritcher previously, just before that. Is that going to be way before? Yes, that would probably be about right-ish. Let's see what this brings up. So they've already had their incident and coming together there. No. Hopefully, we thought third time was going to be the charm. It wasn't, but that's...
It wasn't.
Oh, there you go. That's how Phil Berry's just scored there. How he lost his bonnet.
Yep. Yeah, it's just, like I said, it was just a strange... I mean, you're coming into pits. The pit entry, we don't talk about it because it's a little right-hand corner. It's not like it's a we've seen obviously worse pit entries and exits during the course of our broadcasting. This one's fairly straightforward, so that's a kind of an interesting situation. The only thing I can think of is somebody either looped it in the grass maybe, or pinged it off the wall, got it out of shape, and caused a backup, and this, the people behind.
I think Josh might have found something potentially. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a go. See if we find out how it all unfolded. It's going to work a treat or fall flat on our faces. There we go. This is the one. Oh, so he ran it in deep. Richard sneaks through, who then catches the gravel on the inside, and then they come together.
Oh,
wow.
It's just like I said. That's just a weird situation.
There we go.
All right. So back to live. Cause we should be coming up on pit stop time, I think, for most everybody that's still out there.
Well, Tom Gradwell's in. Oh, that's Phil Berry behind him. He's in again.
Hate to see that.
That could be a retirement potentially. Evandro Dantas has exited the session, so I bet he probably came in, didn't have his fast repair ticked, and found a wall of mandatory repairs, and he's bailed on that one.
Yeah, I've been there. That's not. It's a bad way to end a race. So he'll have to reset and come back again next week.
Meanwhile, up front, so I've got Gradwell, Gibson, Mitchell, and Love all into the pits. Yang Lin, how is he getting on? You all ask. Of course, he pitted very early on lap 15. Currently on lap 21 as our top two go around again for yet another tour here at Rudskogen. Running in deep, actually, in this race. So Lin, well, bad news realistically in terms of his lap time. He's matching the likes of Green and Race, but not last time around 3/10 slower than Pinero and Castro, so I don't think that's going to work out for the Chinese driver today. It's Marnie and Plaver into the pits.
Yeah, I was as you were saying that, I was looking, and they kind of dropped Green off. It's 6.5 seconds behind the front two, so it's going to be Pinero and Castro to settle this at the end of the race.
Todd Hansen into the pits too from, I think that was about 10th position he came in from, the American. That's why you asked, when's the pit window going to open, Charles? It can't be far away from it. There you go. Yep. We've got Overstreet, Cathcart in too. Charlie Viccaro's popping in. See him arriving at speed. Gets it slowed up in time. So, who hasn't pitted? Well, Bradford Gordon in 11th. Lynn has in 10th, but our top 9 all yet to stop. Dan Wood up to 16th now. It's starting to come alive a little bit, and all comes together for him. He pitted all the way back on lap 4. Seems like an eternity ago.
Yeah, it really does. But he keeps moving up as people are coming into the pits. He's 54 seconds off the lead, and he's got like a 7-second gap to Gould up in 11th.
Top two in, Charles. Pinero and Castro. They're in.
Here we go.
Realistically, on 33 minutes, that's about as deep as you can run these cars. Green pops in. I'd imagine it's Antonio Race. Yeah, there he is. I can just see him in the background popping into pit road. So I'd imagine we're going to see Favini, Andalo, Murakami, Jason, Brewster all popping in, and Bradford Gold too. Let's find out how this is all going to pan out. And this can be down to, I think, to a pit lane race. Top two stop their cars. Who's going to put in the least amount of fuel? Andrea Favini's going again.
Wow.
Pinero's got the jump on Castro. Oh, Castro's still stationary. Oh, no. It's all gone wrong for the Brazilian.
Well, he is.
Oh, he's still stationary. Oh, no.
Oh, I wonder if he got a... No, he was right behind Pinero. I was going to say maybe he got a pit speeding penalty coming in, but...
Well, that would make sense, Charles. He's been stationary for 30-odd seconds now. 40 seconds is that penalty. Yeah, I think it's got to be that, hasn't it? So if he gets moving again around the 48 to 50 second mark, I'm keeping an eye on it.
Yep,
There's speeding the penalty, pit lane.
I hate to I hate to say that I've probably given him the commentator curse today, and I feel bad for it. But yeah, it's just no,
no!
that
As
was
Phil Berry was having a moment, understeering out wide, then makes contact with Castro. Well, it goes from bad to worse for the pair of them. A big shout out though to Bradford Gould, Favini, Andalo, and Jacobson, who are going to go 35 minutes into this race. Favini is into pit road, so is Andalo. There goes Panero, who's going to win this one at a canter. Bar disaster for him. Jacobson in 2. You imagine Gould should be in now.
Yeah, well, you say that, but we have seen Panero short fuel and it not pay off for him. So, so it's still up in there. But yes, all things being equal, yeah, he should win this race going away. But yeah, to go 35 minutes into this race without stopping is a pretty massive fuel saving. So well done to those guys for sticking it out and stretching. And let's see how they're going to end up once the race is over. Andalo in 7th and Favini in 6th.
Lynn in 2nd. I mean, it didn't work out for him. He's come out 5.6 seconds behind Panero after it's all worked itself out. So the strategy clearly didn't work for the Chinese driver, but thanks to Castro falling by the wayside due to speeding in the pit lane, does mean that he's going to pick up 2nd here. He's come out well clear of green, so it did work in respect to that. Race leading Masters over Marnie, Chris Murakami, 3rd in class, 10th overall. Hansen leading Spec 2, 2nd is Gibson, 3rd is Justice. So solid results for those latter 2. Overstreet, well, after all of it, she's actually up a position now from where she started, having fallen to the back after 2 big old incidents, let's face it. It's a 16th. Where is Dan Wood? Well, he's up 10 spots now, Charles. He's into 8th.
There you go. That I think that's a successful undercut. I mean, you can move up 10 spots, get in the top 10. That's a good day at the office.
Josh Justice has the honour for the highest position gained. He's up 13 spots, which has, of course, got him into 3rd in class. There they are on the screen for you now. See how everyone's got on. I mean, some big old results there. Numerous drivers into double figures. Poor Les Plaver in double figures, but however, that's from places drop, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, you have days like that where it just doesn't work out for you. But yeah, you talked about Overstreet. She's down another spot, back to even as Castro got by her. I think they've still got a chance to maybe get McCain before it's all over. So we'll see how that works out.
Yes, still got chance, these two, haven't they? They've still got chance. Only 1 second to McCain. Brewster, well, some 4.6 seconds at the race, so they're not going to get Brewster, I would imagine.
I think that's too far. I think it's too much of a stretch.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bridge too far, that one. We're inside the last 2 minutes here from Rudskogen, round 1 of the SRF Weekend Warriors.
We do have some good battles, though, with 7th, 8th, 9th, and then 10th. Andalo, Wood, Murakami, Hansen, all within about a second and a half to 2 seconds. So there's still some battles for positions out here that can be won. So it's not quite over yet. Like I said, we'll see how Panero makes it to the end. My guess is if he needs the fuel save, he's got plenty of gap to do it. So it should be pretty smooth sailing for the last lap or so.
Looking at this, Charles, where he's halfway around the lap. So yes, it's when he comes around across the line that he's going to take the white flag. 1 lap left to go. Also got an intriguing battle over 13th. Alson, Brewster and McCain all involved in. No, apologies, it's Gradwell, Alson and Brewster. I read that slightly wrong there in our timing sheets. So they're still scrapping away. Actually, crucially, Gradwell and Brewster, who are sandwiching Elson, who are on board with right now, both Masters drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. And, that's not quite for the podium, but obviously, they still want to try and get as many points as they can for the season. Obviously with the new championship season, we will try and maximize our points. So yeah, if they can get a spot, they will. As Elson's looking to the inside of Gradwell.
Incredibly close. Off camera, Castro's got past McCain. Charles, you did call that one absolutely spot on about him managing to secure that one. On board with Elson once again. He's like the big bad wolf. He's knocking at the door. He's huffing and puffing. At the moment, Tom Gradwell's house, well, it's appearing like the third little piggy. It's made of bricks and he can't blow it down.
Yeah, Gradwell's did a good job of defensive driving, just placing his car where it needs to be. Elson's looking to the inside, and Gradwell just gets a nice run out of the corner to keep that spot, and they'll tow down the front straight here, and we'll see if Elson maybe looking to the inside, try and make that dive into turn one. And looks like he's got his pass completed.
It's the best overtaking opportunity on the track, and he gets it done. There is your leader, Marco Pinero. Well, he's got about a quarter of a lap left to go. And nearest, damn it, 8 seconds advantage over Yang Ji Lin to bring this one home. There's Lin just behind Brad Cathcart there. Yeah, they're coming around to lap. But Pinero, well, as he rounds the final corner, he's going to take the victory. The first one of the season, of season 4 of 2023 in the SRF Weekend Warriors with a weave. Congratulations to the Italian, back in a new season to winning ways. Lin's going to pick up second. I'm just keeping half an eye on what's happening all behind him. There's few battles. There's Hansen just trying to sweep his way through. Is he going to be able to do this?
Yeah, he's at the inside position.
That's against Dan Wood.
Oh, yep, and then just got a little wide there, and I think that's going to be it.
Staunch defense there from Dan Wood to hold on to that one. Right, Elson still ahead of Gradwell, and that's going to stay like that. Rooster a bit too far back to affect that one. It's just seeing further down if anything else interesting is happening.
Overstreet dropped 2 positions somewhere in this final lap.
There was, as we were watching Gradwell come around the final corner, I did see a big plume of smoke just opposite the track where it sort of switches back with one another. And I wonder whether she's just got it a bit loose there. But there's no crash showing, is there? So,
yeah, I heard her on the radio saying that just lost concentration. She just blew a corner, so probably just locked the tires up.
If you can do it with style, hey? Wow, that is just done from Rudskogen for the first round of the season. We'll get you some results up once everyone is across the line. As Brad Cathcart just bringing it home there. And then if we have some drivers pop in, we'll have a bit of a chat to them too. As well, Marco Pinero running out victor here. Seeing Franklin going to be the last driver across the line, not too sure. Wait, that's to sort itself out. Let's have a bit of a chat to one of our drivers. He sat patiently waiting. Antonio Race joins us now. Antonio, well, first race of the season, a win in Masters. Not a bad start indeed.
Yeah, was not. Somehow. Yeah, it was a good one. It was a little bit tricky for Manny. That would be naturally winning because he's faster than me, but something happened and then I just got lucky to be there, and then just not making any mistakes, big ones. I mean, I make a lot of small mistakes, but still I could keep the distance like 6 seconds from Manny. So yeah, it was a good day.
It was indeed, and I think you're doing yourself a little bit of a disservice there. You know, saying that Jorg's faster than you. I mean, maybe a little bit today, but there's nothing between the pair of you. And I mean, just talk us through, opening stages of the lap. It looks really, really tight out there.
Yeah, it was a little bit scary. We was too close. Not close, but anyway, the racing is like that. We are always close. But it was a little bit scary, and then I was just kind of try to not have any problems, any stupid things, but yeah, somehow could survive from those first laps.
Well, it worked at the end. Not quite on the podium overall, but the win in Masters. Congratulations. That
Thank
is
you.
Antonio Race. Charles, I understand you're standing by with Ian Gibson, who picked up, second in Spec 2?
I think that's right. Ian, congratulations. Good race, up 9 positions. So looked like you had a pretty good time out there. We did catch you on the broadcast.
Yeah, I think I did actually win Spec 2, didn't I?
I think that's what I was thinking too. I was looking.
I've got Todd Hansen as being first, so I will stand corrected.
Yeah, but his number, that's from a couple of seasons ago. His number is not in the right range of numbers for Spec.
That's what I was thinking too. That's
There you go.
so yeah.
Anyway.
Obviously, hey, even better, right? So P1 in class.
I thought I'd
Take
start.
that.
I thought I'd start this season how I ended last season.
There you go. So talk about your race a little bit. It's like you said, made up quite a few positions during.
I had a few hairy moments. Several 0x other there were a lot of people getting slowdowns at some goes up to the left-hander. People I think were getting slowdowns there. I know I got one, but I know people in front of me got one, and it was Concertina City for the first few laps.
Yeah, we were noticing it also.
I think I finished with 0x, which is good. So happy with it.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your opening round win, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
I won't be here next week. I am performing with my band in Spain, but I'll be back the week after.
Well, I think I kind of agree. I think Spain sounds better.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations!
Okay.
Yeah, congratulations.
All right, thanks.
Let's take a little bit of a look at the race results then. Since no one sat standing by waiting, I'm just running a little bit over now. Marco Panaris, we don't run out of race victor. And the Young Shilin, so we've got the qualifying up there. But anyway, Young Shilin ran out victor, second in overall. Green third. Antonio Race, obviously mentioned, spoke to him briefly earlier. Winner in Masters. Yogmani second in class. Favini sixth. Andalo seventh. Murakami third in Masters. Good result for him. Dan Wood, great drive from him after stopping all the way back on lap 4. Completed 27 laps here today. That was the mammoth effort that he put in. To come home 9th. Top 10, it was Todd Hansen who, as rightly pointed out there by Ian Gibson, was not the winner in Spec 2. Jason, Elson, Gradwell, 4th and 3rd, 5th respectively for Jim Brewster in Masters. Then Castro, speed in the pit lane cost him dearly, prevented finishing on the podium. He finished 15th in the end. McCain, 16th up 11th spot, solid drive from him. Then Ian Gibson, you win it in Spec 2. Josh Justice, second in class at 14, good result for him. Overstreet, sorry, at the office for her, down to 19th. Gould up 10 spots into 20th. And then we have got Jackson rounding out the podium in Spec 2, 21st overall. Not the best of show for Spec 2 guys. Normally you have one or two a bit higher up than that, but still all happy with their results, that is for sure. Mitchell Recaro, Plaver, who had a torrid time too. It's nothing seems to be for our drivers today. Finishing 24th down 11 at spots. Love, Longin, Walball, Cathcart, 1 lap down. So was Nunes and Phil Berry and Michelle Vaglini into retirements. Dantas we lost on lap 18. So did Jeff Fritchef. That bizarre contact entering the pit. Redness on lap 3. Simon Mayer on lap 1, and Michael Nelson did not make the start, but that is all we've got time for here for the double header of Weekend Warriors on Apex Racing TV. I've been Tim Cox with Charles Michelle and Josh Wilkie. We will see you in a week's time when the Weekend Warriors Tour rolls into Phillip Island. Well, that was an epic race last season. I'm sure it's going to be more than the same in a week's time. Make sure you join us then. If I can make sure you join us, good night.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.